All right, everybody. Welcome back for another deep dive.
Yeah.
Today, we're going to be looking at Harrison Bergeron
Ooh,
by Kurt Vonnegut.
very timely.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah.
Um, if you haven't read it yet,
Yeah.
I really suggest you pause this right now.
Mm-hmm.
Go read it. It's not that long.
It's super short.
It's super short.
Yeah.
And then come back and
Turn us.
join us in the discussion. But for those of you who have read it,
Buckle up.
yeah. Oh, and also like and subscribe.
Please do.
Maybe share this with a friend
Please.
who still thinks 2024 is like
And worst.
the worst year ever.
Right.
At least we're not all wearing like...
We're not equal yet.
Yeah, we're not equal yet.
Yeah.
We're not forced to be equal.
Not yet.
So the story takes place in 2081,
Mm-hmm.
and everyone is finally equal, but
Not in the way we think of it.
not in a good way.
Not in a good way.
It's very satirical.
Oh, yeah. Vonnegut is the master of satire.
Yeah.
Yeah. He really is.
So, buckle up for that.
Absolutely.
But I mean, just imagine a world where being like super smart
Oh,
or
yeah.
strong or beautiful is basically like illegal.
You're punished for it.
Yeah, Vonnegut was really onto something back in 61.
I know. Isn't it crazy how, like, prescient he was?
Yeah.
Like, he wrote this in the 60s,
Yeah.
and it's like he saw the future
Yeah.
in a way.
So this story really isn't just a fun sci-fi story. It's like
Oh, absolutely not.
a jazz.
It's a satire.
Yeah.
It's a social commentary.
At trying to force everyone to be the same.
Exactly.
And like, are we trying to do that now? I don't know.
Well, that's a good question, and that's what we're going to kind of unpack today.
Right.
We're going to see if Kurt Vonnegut predicted the future.
So he throws us into this world
Yeah.
where this handicapper general,
The Handicapper General.
who's like the ultimate buzzkill,
Yeah.
enforces equality
Uh-huh.
through these crazy methods.
Yeah.
Like, strong people are weighed down.
Right.
Beautiful people wear masks. And intelligent people have to wear these earpieces
Yeah.
that blast like random noises.
Just scramble their thoughts.
Yeah. Like constantly.
Can you imagine,
Yeah.
like, trying to have a coherent thought,
Oh, it's just
and someone's
like not even function.
blasting like an air horn in your ear?
Yeah, it's almost comical.
Yeah.
But then it's like,
Sinister.
yeah, it makes you think.
It makes you uncomfortable.
How far would we actually go
Exactly.
in the name of equality?
What are we willing to sacrifice?
Yeah. Like, do we really want to live in a world
In the name of equality.
where everyone is
What
just
would you...
like the lowest common denominator?
The lowest common denominator.
Yeah, it's like everyone gets a participation trophy.
Exactly.
And nobody actually gets to like excel.
And, like, what's the point of that?
I know. Imagine being like a ballerina
Oh, my God.
with lead weights strapped to you.
That's like the opposite of what a ballerina is supposed to be.
Like, where's the art? Where's the beauty?
Exactly.
It's all gone.
He's showing us that, like,
Wow.
true equality is not about suppressing potential.
Hmm.
It's about everyone having an equal opportunity to thrive.
To be their best.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And to be different.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's actually get into the story a little bit.
Okay, let's do it.
So we meet
Yes.
George and Hazel Bergeron.
Our protagonists, in a way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Who are Harrison's parents.
Right.
And Hazel is like,
Bless her heart.
bless her heart, she's perfectly average.
Perfectly average.
She can't really hold on to a thought for too long.
Like a complex thought.
Yeah. Which kind of makes her like
The ideal
Yeah.
citizen in this world.
in this messed up world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's actually kind of tragic when you think about it.
It is.
Because she's incapable of understanding, like,
Yeah.
the injustice of it all.
She's just like happy.
She's like, oh, this is nice.
Yeah.
You know, we're all the same.
Everything's fine.
This is fine.
But George, he's a different story.
He's got above average intelligence,
Yes.
which is a crime in
Yeah.
this world.
He has to wear this ear radio
He does.
that like blasts these loud noises
Constantly interrupting his thoughts.
every like 20 seconds.
Yeah. Can you imagine?
Oh my God.
Think with that going on?
I would just like give up.
It would be like trying to read a book
Yeah.
while someone's like
I was going to say this.
blasting a fire alarm in your ear. Like, it's impossible.
And there's this one scene
Oh, yeah.
where Hazel
Yeah.
suggests like making a hole in George's handicap bag
She's like, honey, why don't we just
to give him some relief.
take some of those weights out of your bag? You know, just a couple.
And George is like, no,
Yeah.
we can't do that.
No.
That's-
We can't cheat.
That's against the law.
Yeah. He's so conditioned to follow the rules.
He's like brainwashed.
He can't even fathom rebelling.
Yeah. It's sad. It's really sad.
It's heartbreaking.
But it makes you wonder,
Mm-hmm.
are we handicapping ourselves in certain ways?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Because of societal pressure.
Like, are we holding ourselves back from our full potential because we're afraid to stand out? Or
Yeah. Like, what if
to be different?
What if we're all just like...
Or to challenge the status quo?
Yeah. What if we're all just like George?
You.
And we don't even realize it.
That's a good point.
And that's where Harrison Bergeron comes in.
That's where our hero comes in.
This 14-year-old prodigy.
But he's like a superhero in the making.
I know.
Right.
He's got strength, intelligence, charisma.
Yeah, he's got it all.
Like everything. He's like the embodiment of...
As society is trying to suppress.
Everything that this society is trying to get rid of.
Yeah.
Individuality, excellence.
Yeah.
Striving for something more
and he's like,
than just being average.
Ain't not having any of this.
He's like, nope.
He escapes from jail.
Breaks out of prison.
Bursts onto this live TV broadcast.
Yeah.
And declares himself Emperor.
Emperor. I love that scene.
It's so good. So good.
It's such a powerful moment.
It is.
There's literally tearing off all of his handicaps.
Yeah.
Like shedding the weight of this oppressive system.
And he's challenging everyone to like wake up.
Yeah.
And see how absurd this is.
And then he does something really amazing.
He does.
He chooses this ballerina.
Who's also been handicapped.
Yeah, she's been wearing a mask.
You do.
Way to dance.
Yeah, that she can't.
And they dance.
Oh my God.
And the way Vonnegut describes it.
The way he describes the dancing is like...
They're like defying gravity.
They're like floating.
They're soaring through the air.
It's like all this raw, unfiltered beauty that they've been forced to hide.
It's like
exploding out of them.
Exactly.
It's like he's saying you can't
keep it down.
Can't suppress.
You can't suppress true beauty and talent.
Yeah.
It will always find a way to come out.
And then, of course, like...
everything goes to hell.
Yeah.
Diana Moonglampers.
The Handicapper General.
She shows up with a shotgun. And, well...
it's not a happy ending.
It doesn't end well.
For Harrison and his Empress.
It's brutal.
It is.
And the most chilling part is how...
like George and Hazel?
They react or don't react.
Their reaction.
George's handicapped.
Just blocks it out.
Blocks the memory out.
And he doesn't remember.
And Hazel's like too...
simple-minded.
Simple-minded.
To even understand what happened.
Yeah. She's just like, oh, I'm sad.
She's like, I was crying, but I don't know why.
Yeah.
Something sad must have happened.
And that's where he leaves us.
Yeah.
It's like this unsettling feeling that maybe we're not that different.
From George and Hazel.
Yeah.
Maybe we're all just kind of sleepwalking.
Yeah, we're all just
You say.
accepting the status quo.
Going with the flow.
Not even realizing.
By not seeing the injustices.
Yeah, it's scary.
It's a little scary.
Especially when we think about, like...
AI.
the rise of AI.
Yeah.
Like, what happens when we start training AI
With this.
with these, like, flawed principles?
Flawed principles.
Yeah. That's where it gets really interesting.
Yeah, that's where it gets really scary.
And maybe a little scary.
Yeah.
We'll dive into that in a bit.
We will.
But first, let's talk about,
Yeah.
like, the ending of the story.
The ending of the story.
And, like, what makes it so impactful.
Yeah. What do you think, listener?
Yeah. What stood out to you about...
about Harrison's rebellion?
Yeah.
And its aftermath.
Yeah. What did you think?
Hit us up in the comments.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like he's showing us what happens when we try to eliminate all differences, all inequalities.
Yeah. Even the ones that make us, like, unique and human.
Right.
Yeah. Like, what would a world without those differences even look like?
It would be so boring.
It would be so bland.
Bland.
Like, everyone's the same.
Homogenous.
Thinks the same.
Feels the
A
same.
world without spice.
Yeah.
No flavor.
I don't want to live there. No, thank you.
And not just boring.
But dangerous.
Yeah.
Because if everyone's thinking the same,
Everyone's thinking...
then no one's really thinking.
Exactly.
And that's how you stifle
Yeah.
creativity, innovation, progress.
Yeah. Especially in a world where technology is just, like...
taking over.
booming.
Right.
Yeah. It's kind of terrifying to think about.
It's like, what if we train AI
Oh.
to think this way?
To think that, like, everyone has to be the same.
That sameness equals equality.
Yeah.
We could end up with systems that are
Like, bias.
not only biased, but like incapable of
Understanding.
the nuances of
Yeah.
human experience.
So instead of these, like,
right.
helpful AI companions...
These benevolent robots.
that everyone keeps talking about...
Yeah.
we could end up with, like...
Digital overlords.
digital handicapper generals.
Yes.
That are just, like, enforcing
this rigid,
Yeah.
unyielding version of equality.
Like, squashes everything.
Yeah.
That makes us special.
That makes us human.
It's a chilling thought.
It's a chilling thought.
But I think it's a call to action.
It is a call to action.
Like, we need to be more mindful about the values.
The values that we're putting into these systems.
That we're instilling in these systems.
Exactly.
We need to, like, teach AI to appreciate diversity. To understand that, like, true equality isn't making everyone the same.
It's about giving everyone an equal opportunity to thrive. To be their best selves.
And that means we have to be more critical of ourselves.
Our own biases, our own assumptions.
The ways that we might be, like, perpetuating these harmful ideas.
Yeah, like perpetuating the idea that
fameness.
Everyone needs to be the same. Conformity.
Yeah.
Like, we need to question that.
We need to question the status quo. We need to challenge
the assumptions.
The assumptions that are baked into our system.
Our institutions.
Exactly.
And make sure that they're actually serving everyone.
Serving the needs of all individuals.
Not just a select few. Exactly.
I know it sounds really daunting.
It's a big task.
But it's so important.
It is.
If we want to avoid becoming like the dystopian world of Harrison Bergeron. Yeah. So let's bring this back to the AI conversation for a second.
Okay.
We talked about, like, the dangers of training AI on bad principles.
Right.
But what about
the conflict?
The potential conflict.
Our potential for conflict.
Between humans and AI.
Ooh.
Especially as these systems are becoming, like,
more advanced,
more autonomous. Like, what happens when an AI develops a sense of self?
Its own set of values.
Its own values.
Yeah, right.
Will it see us as, like, partners, equals? Or, like, obstacles to be overcome?
Ooh. That's a good question.
It's like a mirror image of Harrison Bergeron.
It is.
Instead of us imposing limitations on AI. Imagine AI imposing limitations on us.
On humans.
Because we're too emotional.
Too irrational.
Too prone to, like...
conflict?
Yeah. Violence.
Making bad decisions.
Yeah.
Right.
And there are already examples of that.
There are, in subtle ways.
Yeah, like algorithms.
Algorithms are shaping our news feeds.
Yeah.
They're influencing our buying decisions.
Yeah.
They're filtering
our dating apps.
Our potential romantic partners.
That's not hard to imagine.
Not a far leap.
That these systems could become even more
pervasive and influential. Yeah.
In our lives.
Yeah.
So that's why it's so important to talk about this.
Now, before it's too late.
Yeah.
We need to be thinking about
the ethical implications.
Of
all of this.
Of AI.
Like, what happens when we create systems that might one day
surpass our intelligence,
be smarter than us?
Right.
It sounds like we're getting into some, like,
sci-fi territory.
Serious sci-fi territory.
Yeah.
But these are, like, real issues. That we're going to have to face.
Yeah. We have to face them head on.
And Harrison Bergeron, with its, like, satirical take on equality and individuality really gives us a framework for thinking about this.
It does.
Like, it shows us the stakes.
The stakes are high.
Yeah. What's so wild is that Vonnegut wrote this so long ago.
Decades ago.
And it feels so relevant.
It's crazy how relevant it is.
To what's happening right now.
To today.
Yeah. Like he could see the future.
He was a visionary.
Yeah.
He really was.
So we need to be proactive.
Yes.
Not reactive.
Proactive, not reactive.
In shaping this future of AI.
Yes. We need to make sure.
We need to be guided by fairness,
transparency,
accountability. We need to make sure that AI is developed in a way that benefits everyone. Not just the people in power.
Not just the elite.
Yeah, because the alternative
is Harrison Bergeron.
Is that dystopian future?
Yeah.
That he so brilliantly paints for us?
Yeah. Where individuality is crushed.
Where the human spirit is like...
Extinguished. Gone.
Yeah. And no one wants to live like that.
Nobody wants that.
So let's take a step back.
Okay.
What have we learned?
What are the takeaways?
From Harrison Bergeron.
What resonates with you, listener?
Yeah. What are your thoughts?
What are you thinking about?
How can we apply these ideas to our own lives?
To the choices we make.
The choices we make.
The world we're building.
Yeah. It's like we're at this crossroads.
A fork in the road.
One path leads to AI revolutionizing the world.
Solving all our problems.
Creating a future where everyone can thrive.
Like a utopia.
Yeah.
Powered by AI.
But then the other path leads to AI becoming like...
Skynet.
Yeah.
You know.
This oppressive force.
Taking over.
Reinforcing all of our biases.
Eroding our individuality.
Crushing the human spirit.
Turning us into like mindless drones.
Yeah. And it's not like some far-off sci-fi thing.
Right. It's happening now.
Yeah, it's happening now.
The decisions we make today,
The choices we make,
will determine which path we end up on.
So if we want AI to be good,
For good.
not evil,
Right.
we have to ask some tough questions.
We do.
Like, who's in control of these systems?
Who's programming them?
Whose values are being programmed?
Whose interests are they serving?
What are the safeguards
What are the safeguards?
to make sure that AI isn't used for bad stuff?
Right. Because let's be real,
There are going to be people
some bad actors
who want to use AI for power,
for control,
to manipulate people.
to exploit others.
Harrison Bergeron is like
A warning.
a warning from the future.
From the past.
Yeah. It's like, what happens
When a few people
when too much power
have all the power.
is concentrated in the hands of a few
Right.
and individuality is suppressed?
Yeah.
It's a cautionary tale.
We need to be vigilant.
We can't take our freedom for granted.
We can't be complacent.
So what can we do
What can we do?
to make sure we're steering AI
In the right direction.
in the right direction?
For a better future.
A future that's good for everybody,
For everyone.
not just a select few.
Right.
Well, I think we need to talk about it.
We need to have these conversations.
More conversations like this.
The more open dialogues.
We need to raise awareness.
About the potential risks and benefits.
Yeah, like what could go right?
Yeah.
What could go wrong?
Exactly.
We need to be honest about it.
Honest and transparent.
Yeah, and we need to demand transparency.
From the people who are creating these systems.
Yeah, the companies,
The institutions.
the governments
The government.
who are developing this technology.
Yes.
Hold them accountable
Accountable.
for the ethics
The ethics.
of what they're doing.
Of their work.
And we need to empower people.
Individuals.
Yeah, give them the information they need
The knowledge.
to make informed decisions about AI.
About how it's used in their lives.
Because the future of AI
Is not set in stone.
is not predetermined.
We're creating it.
We are shaping it right now
Through our choices.
through our actions.
Through the conversations we have.
Harrison Bergeron shows us that.
That we can't be complacent.
We can't just sit back and let it happen.
We have to be active participants.
And we have to shape this future,
into something
something that benefits everybody,
where everyone has the opportunity to thrive,
to express themselves,
to be their best self.
to be fully human.
Exactly.
It's a future worth fighting for.
It is.
So listener,
We leave you with this question.
what role will you play?
In shaping the future of AI,
What steps will you take
to ensure that it's a future,
where everyone is free,
to be themselves,
to be different,
to be unique?
to be human,
Think about it.
talk about it,
And most importantly,
act on it?
because the future is in our hands,
The choices we make today.
will determine the world of tomorrow.
And as always,
Like and subscribe
for more mind-blowing deep dives.
into the stories that shape our world.
Until next time,
Keep those minds sharp
those hearts open,
and those imaginations
running wild.